Sector Delaware Bay serves as the parent command for 6 boat stations comprised of Station Atlantic City, Station Barnegat Light, Station Cape May, Station Indian River Inlet, Station Manasquan Inlet, and Station Philadelphia. 2 aids to navigation teams, including Ant Cape May and Ant Philadelphia. 3 87-foot coastal patrol boats, including the Coast Guard Cutter Hammerhead, the Coast Guard Cutter Shearwater, the Coast Guard Cutter Benito, 2 65-foot small harbor tugs, the Coast Guard Cutter Cleet, and the Coast Guard Cutter Capstan. 1 sector field office in Atlantic City, New Jersey, 1 Marine Safety Detachment in Lewis, Delaware, and 12 auxiliary divisions representing 65 flotillas. Due to the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic, this change of command is slightly modified, and we were not able to invite as many guests as Captain Anderson and Captain Theel would like to join us today. The Coast Guard's success in Delaware Bay is due in large part to the great partners and stakeholders throughout the area. Although we can't have everyone in attendance, we would like to recognize the few who were able to join us. Captain Anderson's wife, Tracy Ann, sons Carl and Paul, daughter Kathleen, and parents Arland and Sharon. Captain Theel's wife, Ann, son Orion, and daughter Lexi. Senior active duty, reserve, and civilian and auxiliary sector personnel. Commodore Thomas Deaver, United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. Captain Kurt Clark, former Deputy Sector Commander, Sector Delaware Bay. Commander Andre Murphy, Coast Guard MDAC Morristown. Joseph Bartella, Area Port Director, CBP Philadelphia. Lieutenant Colonel David Park, District Commander, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Captain Stuart Griffin, Mariners Advisory Committee. Captain David Cuff, Pilots Association for the Bay and River, Delaware. Lisa Himber, Maritime Exchange for the Delaware River and Bay. Jennifer Torres, Officer in Charge, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Lieutenant Andrew Napoli, Philadelphia Police Department. Special Agent Steve McQueen, FBI Philadelphia. Philadelphia Fire Commissioner Adam Theel. Jared Maples, Director, New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. Joanne Wardwell, Sector Delaware Bay Ombudsman. Resident Agent in Charge Brent McKnight, Coast Guard Investigative Services. Sector Delaware Bay was established in 2005 through the merging of Group Philadelphia and Marine Safety Office Philadelphia. Sector Delaware Bay operates as an integrated operations command and is made up of almost 570 active duty personnel, more than 200 reservists, and approximately 1,770 auxiliarists. Sector Delaware Bay is responsible for all Coast Guard operational missions combined under one command. This command structure allows for great flexibility and responsiveness in conducting our daily operations and provides one-stop shopping to our local customers for all Coast Guard missions, in keeping with the Team Coast Guard concept. Sector Delaware Bay has thoroughly integrated the active duty, reserve, and auxiliary components into one cohesive operations team. Sector operations are guided by the vision that Sector Delaware Bay will be the Coast Guard's leader in providing a skilled, confident, and motivated team of multi-mission professionals who will spearhead innovative solutions to the myriad of complex issues in the maritime domain of the 21st century. Sector Delaware Bay has a tri-state area of responsibility that encompasses portions of the states of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and the entire commercial ports of Philadelphia, Camden, and Wilmington, Delaware. The unit's AOR extends from Long Branch, New Jersey to the Delaware-Maryland state line and out 200 nautical miles from the coastline. Good morning and welcome to Coast Guard Sector Delaware Bay's Change of Command. I am Commander Paul Fawcett and I will be your Master of Ceremonies. Joining me on stage is Chaplain Patrick Flynn. Please turn off or silence your cell phones for the duration of today's events. All military personnel in uniform will remain covered during today's ceremony and shall follow my lead for military salutes. As a reminder, all veterans and military members not in uniform are authorized to salute during colors and the playing of the national anthem. Distinguished guests, friends of the Coast Guard, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for attending this morning. The military change of command ceremony is a time-honored tradition which formally symbolizes the continuity of authority as command is passed from one individual to another. It is a formal ceremony which is conducted before the assembled crew of the command and is a transfer of total authority and regulation and accountability from one individual to another. Regulations for a change of command require that all hands muster at the time of the change and that the officer to be relieved shall read his or her orders of detachment and turn over the command to the successor, who in turn reads his or her orders. The exchange of salutes between the two individuals, usually before their reporting senior, in this case, Commander, 5th Coast Guard District, completes the change of command. Today, Captain Scott Anderson will be relieved by Captain Jonathan Theel as Commander of Coast Guard Sector Delaware Bay. I am pleased to welcome you today to share in this ceremony. Welcome family members and friends of both Captain Anderson and Captain Theel. Will guests please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of colors, the national anthem, and the invocation. Now, Captain, United States Coast Guard, arriving. Now, Sector Delaware Bay, arriving. Now, Commander, 5th Coast Guard District, arriving. Hand salute! Ready, to Color Guard, advance the colors. Hand salute! Ready, to
shoulder arc, left face, forward arc,
Chaplain Flynn will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Merciful Father, Almighty God, we come before you this day with thankful hearts for faithful vocation served and protection granted to all in Sector Del Bay. Your word tells us, so teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom. And we know that all good things come from you. Thank you for keeping your servant, Captain Scott Anderson, safe during his time and his tenure here. Thank you for preserving his parents, Arland and Sharon, on their trip here, and for preserving his family during his tenure here in Philadelphia through all of its ups and downs. Thank you for keeping his wife, Tracy Ann, and their children, Carl, Kathleen, and Paul. As Captain Anderson is about to transition into new adventures and relinquish command, guide him in all that he does, and let your will be done in all things. Your word tells us to pray for those in positions of authority, because we know that they can be difficult and challenging. Be with Captain Jonathan Theel as he fleets up and becomes the new leader in Sector Del Bay. Remind us that you are with us through all things. Be with his wife Anne and their children Orion and Lexi through this tour. Give all leaders in District 5 eyes to see and ears to hear the needs of not only the operations, but to be good stewards of what has been entrusted to them and see the needs of all. Please bless these proceedings this day. In your holy name we ask all these things. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce today's presiding official, Commander of the 5th Coast Guard District, Rear Admiral Keith Smith. Rear Admiral Smith enlisted in the Coast Guard on September 11, 1980, and served in various assignments, including as an aircrew member on board the HS-3F helicopter, better known as the Mighty Pelican, and the C-130. Rear Admiral Smith received his commission through Officer Candidate School in 1987 and is currently serving in his 6th command assignment. He has spent the majority of his career specializing in frontline tactical maritime law enforcement, port security, and homeland security operations. His previous command assignments have included Commander, Coast Guard Force Readiness Command, Director, Joint Interagency Task Force West, Commander, Maritime Security and Response Team, Commander, Maritime Safety and Security Team Los Angeles Long Beach, and Commanding Officer, Tactical Law Enforcement Team North. Rear Admiral Smith assumed the duties of Commander, 5th Coast Guard District in August of 2018. In this position, he serves as the operational commander for all U.S. Coast Guard forces from the North Carolina-South Carolina border to New Jersey, encompassing more than 3,000 Coast Guard active duty, reserve, and civilian personnel spanning 1.4 million square miles of oceans, bays, and rivers, several mid-Atlantic ports, our national capital region, and the largest U.S. naval base in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Rear Admiral Smith.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, Admiral.
So did anybody else wake up at 3:30 to drive here from Portsmouth, Virginia? One other person. Bryce, where you at? My aide. Okay, so a little bit of early morning for us. And so the first thing I did when I got up here, making sure my speech was here, and I've got 2 sets of glasses. So that's when you know you're old, because you got to have 2 sets of glasses, make sure the height of the podium is proper and you can read your speech. So, but it is an honor for me to be here today, even though we got up a little bit early, but we were definitely going to make it for this change of command ceremony. And I really appreciate everybody making it here. To our families, friends, guests, and members of the Coast Guard family, a warm welcome. I know we have folks virtually here. I want to welcome you as well. I know we have a lot of special guests, and I'm going to name you, and hopefully I'll get your names correct, and I want to just call you out, and I'm hoping that maybe you can give me a little wave so I know who I'm talking to. Joseph Martella, sir, thank you for being here today as well. Lieutenant Colonel David Parks, thank you for being here today. Jennifer Torres. Jennifer, did you make it? Okay, thank you for your support nonetheless. Jonathan Theel, are you here as well? Thank you, sir. I should have recognized you by the uniform. Apologize. Jared Maples. And how about Michael Driscoll? You're representing? Well, thank you very much for being here as well. I think the port partners here in this port and in the supporting sector, Del Bay, is outstanding, and I just want to thank you all for your continued support. Chaplain, I want to thank you for your powerful words today. Once again, a lot going on in our nation and our Coast Guard, and I can think of no more important words than what you spoke this morning, and I appreciate you being here today as well. To our Honor Guard, where's Honor Guard? Did they already depart? Are they out of here? thank you guys. You made us proud today. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you stepping up and making us proud today. I also want to recognize the family members that are here today. To Captain Anderson's wife, Tracy Ann, thank you so much for being here today. It's good seeing you again as well. I know we have the rest of the family. Daughter Kathleen, I was told Kat, but Kathleen. So what do you want me to call you? Kat. Okay, I'm going to go with Kat because I feel like we're family here. So okay, I'm going to go with Kat. So Delaware Valley University. So I have a crack research team that told me that. So that's where you graduated last year from that and looking at veterinarian school. So I wish you the best of luck in that. And thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting your dad over the last several years. Carl, that's Carl right here. You're at, let me see. So this one got me a little bit confused. Cal University. So I'm from California. I went to Long Beach State University, but that's not in California, right? It's in Western Pennsylvania. And you're studying secondary education and mathematics. And you want to be a teacher someday. So thanks for that. Thanks for wanting to be a teacher. My wife was a teacher for 25 years. Father was a teacher, so thanks for doing that as well. And then Paul, I found you the most intriguing of the Anderson clan. You know, so I got to understand what a white hat hacker is. So my research team couldn't tell me what that was, but that's something you want to be involved in, right? Is that what I understand? So I don't want you to explain it to me now because I got to be off the stage. We got to wrap this up here, but maybe afterwards we can talk about that. But Paul, thank you very much. And then we got your parents, Sharon and Arland. I just want to thank you for being here. I understand that in 2017 you were unable to make it to Scott's change of command, and I'm really happy that you guys made it here today as well. So you should be proud of your son. He's done a great job, and we'll talk a little bit about that here. But thank you for making out from Las Vegas, I understand. So thanks for being here today. I know we have a lot of folks from Scott's family on the line, and I just want to thank you for all the support you've given Scott over the years. And thanks. And unfortunately, we could not be here today, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later as well. But Tracy Ann, I want to specifically thank you over the last 3 years. You got an extra year because somebody asked your husband to stay around another year. And we could talk about that, and if you want to talk to me later, we can talk about that. But overseeing all Coast Guard missions for the states of Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, I can think of no more challenging job than what we ask our sector commanders to do. And in essence, we ask a lot of you in that process. And so I just want to say thank you very much for your love and support of Scott over the last 3 years. And in 2 years as a deputy, we can't forget that as well. There's no way he could have done as well as he did without your love and support. And I just want to say thank you very much. You know, there's no question that Captain Scott Anderson is a great officer and leader, but the fact is he's simply better with Tracy Ann, Kat, Carl, and Paul as part of his life. And I know that Scott will be the first one to admit that. So if you all could join me in a round of applause for this great Coast Guard family. Hey, we're also honored to have Captain Theel's family with us as well. We have several online, but we have a couple here that are with us, and I want to recognize Ann. Sorry, Ann, I'm the mask. I'm trying to crap at everybody, so I appreciate Ann, thank you very much for all your support. You know, Jonathan and I have known each other for a very long time, and I just appreciate your support. I'm very proud of him, and this is going to be a great assignment for him and for you as well. Orion and Lexi, I want to thank you for your support of your dad. So today is a big day. You guys know that. And I can tell you from knowing your dad a long time that this wouldn't mean nearly as much without the three of you here to take part in it. So thank you very much for your love and support of your father. As we honor the manners of our profession, it's important to note that this ceremony was scheduled to be a much bigger event. Captain Anderson wanted to have a much bigger event. Wanted to have the whole crew here. Wanted to have the port partners here. Wanted to do a much bigger event. But there's challenges in our nation, as we know, and this required some tough decisions to be made as we went through this process. So we find ourselves here on this pier in front of the William Tate. I think we have the Bonita on here as well. It's a beautiful day, but this is not the event that was planned and was scheduled. And like I said, some tough decisions had to be made. And I just appreciate the opportunity to come here and be a part of this. And it's not the one we wanted, but it's the one we have. And so we're going to make the best of it. You heard Commander Fawcett talk about the history and the purpose of a change of command. And I don't want to repeat what's already been said because that would take a little bit more time. But I do want to highlight the importance of the change of command ceremony because it's one of the most important intangibles that makes being in the military unique. As wonderful as it is for us to celebrate with family and friends today, we conduct a change of command ceremony not for the families, not for the guests, and certainly not for me. Today's ceremony is for the men and women who proudly call themselves the crew of Sector Delaware Bay. I know Captain Anderson would agree with me that command is not about the individual. It's about the crew, the team, the family that breathes life, character, and soul into the unit. Today's ceremony is one of our most cherished and important traditions. It represents the recognition and celebration of who we are as a service and what the defenders of this great nation value, the absolute nature of accountability and the art of leadership. It is for these reasons that we reserve command for the very best and proven leaders. Today we bid farewell to one great leader, Captain Scott Anderson, and welcome another one, Captain Jonathan Theel. I am deeply honored to be a part of today's ceremony because I've had the honor of knowing both Jonathan and Scott for many, many years. But I'm equally happy because of the relevancy of our sector commands, which are arguably our service's most critical commands and demanding operational units. With a broad range of authority and jurisdictions, sector commanders' daily actions and decisions impact the maritime transportation system and the flow of commerce that contribute $5.4 trillion to our nation's economic engine. They daily save lives and property, protect the environment, secure critical infrastructure, and protect vital living marine sources, as well as ensuring commercial vessel safety. No other command in our service have a greater impact on the ability to maximize readiness today and tomorrow, address the national maritime challenges, or deliver mission excellence anytime, anywhere. And perhaps most importantly, have such a direct impact on the communities and the people we serve, helping people and neighbors recover from catastrophic events, pulling survivors from frigid waters, and caring for their families during the darkest hours. All change of commands are unique and special. I've just highlighted a few reasons which makes today's ceremony even more distinct. But I've learned over the years, there's normally a story, an event, a crisis, or some action that occurred that requires the commander to take action that specifically defines and forever marks the leader's time at that unit. This could occur during a challenging search and rescue case, an oil pollution incident, dealing with a tragic personnel issue or political issue, responding to a man-made or natural disaster, or simply how he or she dealt with a multitude of issues that embodies the elements of command and leadership. That most certainly will be the case at Sector Del Bay and will define Captain Anderson's tenure. Sector Del Bay has performed remarkably well during the past 3 years under the leadership of Captain Anderson through a hectic operations tempo, dealing with some taxing circumstances while confronting some historic environmental challenges. The list of accomplishments are impressive. Let me just highlight a few. Completed more than 1,300 search and rescue cases, saved more than 900 lives, and over $39 million in property. Prosecuted over 3,400 inspections, 15,000 boardings, and over 1,000 pollution cases. But I've never been a huge fan of pure statistics to highlight the true performance of a unit or a leader. It falls short of capturing the essence and the quality, for numbers only tell part of the story. The SAR cases highlighted above were extremely challenging. Many of them were extremely challenging and complicated and required great skills at all levels. From the command center to the station, from the patrol boat to the small boat, from the pilot to the rescue swimmer, to safely prosecute each of these cases. Some of the cases that in those numbers above were the fishing vessel Ocean Pearl, which was on fire 15 miles southeast of Cape May, which required a multi-unit response resulting in the saving of 4 mariners. Or the rescue of a missing diver off of Shark River, New Jersey. Or the sailing vessel Serena that was on fire taking on water 170 miles off the coast of Maryland. resulted in the member being medevaced and safely returned to shore. Some of the Sector Bay enforcement activities included the largest drug seizure in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, a multi-agency drug operation that led to 20 tons of cocaine worth an estimated $1.3 billion. What is not included in that is the removal and search of 2,800 containers with our interagency partners. Also, the first time the Coast Guard prosecuted an oil content meter bypass case. It was one of 3 environmental crimes cases during a very short period of time that Sector Del Bay prosecuted. Once again, not contained within those statistics highlighted above. Sector's Joint Container Targeting Inspection Team, working with CBP, seized 186 kilograms of cocaine in addition to the one I highlighted above, over 20,000 rounds of ammunition, 6 illegal firearms, and military-grade optics destined for Central America. During 34 container ops with the ports of Philadelphia, Wilmington, and Camden. And also, not highlighted above, was just the number of national awards that have been received by this unit under Captain Anderson's tenure. 2017, the Rear Admiral Sidney Wallace Award for Excellence in Maritime Environmental Response and Preparedness. The 2017 Auxiliarist of the Year Award. The 2018 Congressman James Center Award for Excellence in Marine Inspections. 2018 Commander Ray Evans Outstanding Coxswain Trophy. 2019 Lieutenant Charles S. Root Intelligence Award. 2019 Operation Dry Water Outstanding Sector, and the 2019 Reservist Enlisted Person of the Year Award. Now, I know this sounds like, well, that's not a big deal. Folks, that is a huge deal. This doesn't normally happen at one unit. So I know the folks in the Coast Guard recognize that, but those not in the Coast Guard, one unit does not usually achieve this many national level awards under one commander's tenure. Finally, Sector Del Bay conducted a series of multi-state, multi-agency exercises to improve regional preparedness to respond to offshore oil spills. And this is kind of in response to the increase in lightering vessels offshore. Captain Anderson being proactive and his team here at Sector Del Bay being proactive. He forged innovative partnerships with the Harbor Safety Committee and Pilots Association, National Weather Service, created a severe weather communication decision support protocol, and established a regional mariner decision support website. Pretty impressive. And facilitated significant growth in the port, coordinating with numerous partners, safely delivered 5 super post-Pannex cranes, and the most significant part of that was they had to transit them 96 miles upriver and under 2 major highways and bridges. And then there was a $3 million channel deepening project, which I think is probably the other significant piece, working with the Pilots Association, working with the Corps partners as well. All of this, while we had a lapse in appropriation, 35-day lapse in appropriation, which required the command and the chief's mess to step up and provide support. And during that period of time, we got $57,000 donated, which had to be managed appropriately, in gift cards. And then the food bank that, what I understand was 3 two-car garages full of pantry supplies that had to be issued to our men and women. And I've been in the Coast Guard a long time. The lapse in appropriation was probably one of my most challenging leadership issues, and that was filled down to all of our leadership team. So I know that Captain Anderson and his team here and the Chiefs Mess stepped up and did a great job. And now we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, which is another challenging issue for all leaders under Captain Anderson's leadership. And the challenge is continue operations while providing safety for our families and for our members. And that is a difficult thing as we start to get into increase in tempo of operations, and trying to manage that is a very difficult thing. Once again, another challenging period for Captain Anderson. Earlier I mentioned that there are stories and events, and crises, that usually define the tenure of a commander. Many may look at the record-breaking narcotic seizures, and there was more than one, there was multiple, that occurred in the port here under Captain Anderson's tenure. That may be, hey, that's it. That's what marks Captain Anderson's tenure. Others may look at the environmental crimes. That was huge in the port here. Those are painful, time-taking investigations by the team here that's marking this. That will be the tenure. That will be the thing that marks his tenure as the sector commander. or the response to the COVID-19 or the lapse in appropriation, the great leadership displayed by him and the team here. Others may look at the relationships with the port partners, because I will tell you the relationships here, it's evident by the folks in the audience here, that Captain Anderson's relationship with the port partners is incredible. Bringing on a CBV partner as an L&O, which was huge in the port, and I don't think we have it in any other sector in D5, but that is the mark of that will mark his tenure, for Captain Anderson's tenure. But I would, and that would be hard to argue because all those things are very significant and would probably mark a great tenure. But I would say that when you look at his 3-year tenure at Sector Del Bay, and then even look at the 2 years that he was here as the deputy, and knowing the goal of any commander is to improve the sector, and maximizing the great experience and strong mentorship to move the ball down the field, because that's always it. I would argue that if you look at the sector today, compared to when he got here, in terms of relationships, operational excellence, professionalism, the strategic vision, the readiness, and then the command's commitment to the workforce and their families, I would say that total package is more reflective of his legacy. Captain Anderson has continued to improve Sector Del Bay in all areas, and that is always the goal, but very seldom achieved in all areas, especially when confronted with the issues I talked about earlier and all the challenges that have gone on. And I'd like to just reference a quote here from Colin Powell that says, "Great leaders are always simplifiers who can cut through argument, debate, and doubt to offer a solution everyone can understand." Captain Anderson understood this and led with passion and commitment to the service, his people, and our nation. He is a leader who motivates and empowers the entire team to do the work, supports them, and as they get the job done, and the results speak for themselves. The success of Del Bay is a testament to each of you, the crew members of Sector Del Bay, your professionalism and your teamwork, and to Captain Anderson's unwavering leadership. Folks, I could go on, but I'm going to stop here is not to repeat what will be read in the award here shortly. But by any standard, Captain Anderson's leadership, Sector Del Bay was highly and effectively was extremely effective. Now, Captain Anderson will be the first to point again to the workforce as a reason for those successes, and he would be absolutely right, because I can't stress enough the importance of having good people to do the work. But it's also can't be done without great leadership that enables the team's success. So, Scott, I want to thank you for your selfless leadership these last 3 years. I know that I asked you to stay for that 3rd year. We had a long talk about that. I know at the time it seemed like a great idea. This was an awesome idea. But what a year it has been. What a year it has been. But your leadership, professionalism, and knowledge was absolutely essential to navigating this unit through some of the most demanding leadership challenges I have witnessed and encountered in my 39 years. Simply put, Scott, you were the right person at the right time, at the right place, and I thank you for that. You have made a difference and improved this command. You have an extremely trained and dedicated crew to turn over to Captain Theel. You've enhanced partnerships, you've enhanced readiness, you've conducted ops safely and effectively, and enhanced the culture of this unit. That is always the goal of every commander, but very seldom achieved effectively as you've done in spite of all the challenges that you've been confronted with. I wish you luck as you head to retirement. I know that you're still kind of undecided exactly what you want to do, but I would encourage you to take some time off to relax. I hope that's in line with your goals and objectives as well. So, but I know it'll be the first time in 5 years you haven't had a phone or somebody calling you and saying, hey boss, what do we do about this? And when you see a storm coming, I know that's going to be hard for you not to get excited, but just relax, breathe through your nose, and know that Jonathan will have it, and the team here at Sector Del Bay will have it for you.
I'll send out a broadcast.
Yeah. But I look forward to coming back next month and participating in your retirement as well. But thank you, Scott, and I wish you the best of luck. Tracy, Ann, Kat, Carl, and Paul, I just want to say, I know Scott will echo these sentiments shortly here, but I just want to once again thank you all for your support of your father and your husband. We have sucked the bone marrow out of him the last 3 years, and especially the last year. And I really appreciate your patience and understanding. I know he wasn't there when he needed him, And we'll talk more about that during his retirement, but I just want to highlight this for the last 3 years. We really appreciate your support. I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to seeing you next month. So John and Ann, today marks the beginning of an exciting career move for you. I know you've been waiting for this a long time, John, and please, I hope you guys are looking forward to this. We want to welcome you to the D5 family again. This is in a new role, but I'm excited to have you all here. John, like Scott, 3 years ago, you have an impressive resume. I was excited for you when you got the orders to here, and I know you and I worked together back in the early 90s, mid-90s. You were a young Lieutenant JD, and I was a handsome, dark-haired lieutenant. Not much has changed. Not much. Is he going to be successful or what? I'll tell you what. But my charge to you is simple, Jonathan, is to take care of the crew, take care of the families, and continue to meet mission. Remember, people first, readiness always, and continually to be, and they're only my guiding principles. I can't remember my own guiding principles. Relentlessly pursue excellence in everything you do. And continue to lead with the moral courage. These are difficult times, Jonathan, and we need leaders with moral courage to do the right thing, even when sometimes it doesn't seem that may be the right thing. But lead with that moral courage. Your crew counts on that, I count on that, and our nation counts on that. To the men and women of Sector Delaware Bay, I just want to thank you for your service. You know, I haven't had a chance to travel in a very long time, but thank you for your service to your nation. You make me proud. You really do make me proud to be your district commander. Your performance has been exceptional in everything that you do. And I highlight some of those things you're talking about, Captain Anderson, but it's you that gets that done. I'm really proud of you. Commodore, hello, sir. I didn't see you there. I missed you in my remarks. So, Commodore, thank you for being here today as well. What an impressive group. You know, it's easy sometimes to go out and do the task, do the mission, do the engagement, but it's not what you did, it's really how you did it each and every day, and that's what makes a difference. Our nation really counts on us, the Coast Guard, to do the missions, and I continue to do those missions. Not only check off the box, but check them off with pride, dignity, and make sure that people know that they can count on their Coast Guard each and every day. I charge each of you to give the same respect, support that you gave Captain Anderson. It's important. He needs it. It's a difficult time. Continue to support and respect one another, because we are definitely stronger together. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the honor of sharing the morning with you. Semper Paratus. God bless America. So I don't know if this is in the script or not, but I'm going to ask Captain Anderson to please join me so I can formally recognize his performance. All right. So it's not in the script, it's in the script now. So.
Attention to award. Citation to accompany the award of the Legion of Merit to Captain Scott E. Anderson, United States Coast Guard. Captain Anderson is cited for outstanding meritorious service as Commander, Sector Delaware Bay from June 2017 to June 2020, culminating 26 years of dedicated service. Under his leadership and sage direction, Captain Anderson's interagency team and international partners tracked several cargo ships originating in Latin America, eventually leading to the seizure of some of the highest narcotic shipments in the United States history, including 2 high-profile cases in the Port of Philadelphia that netted 11 tons of cocaine valued at $1.7 billion. He peerlessly pursued environmental crimes originating across the globe, 4 of which ended in successful Department of Justice prosecution, yielding $4 million in fines and multiple criminal convictions. Captain Anderson led the successful prosecution of 1,150 search and rescue cases, which saved or assisted nearly 1,200 people and protected $39 million in property. After learning about a fishing vessel that hauled in an unexploded artillery shell, which leaked a mustard agent and contaminated its 5,300 bushel catch, which had already been processed and shipped across America, Captain Anderson coordinated with several agencies, including the Food and Drug Administration, to locate and destroy the tainted food, while simultaneously hosting the Vice Commandant of the Coast Guard. Subsequently, he oversaw development of the Coast Guard's first comprehensive plan for responding to emergencies involving sea-disposed military munitions, including chemical agents, which was the genesis of a new national-level hazards guidance. His insights and steady push for robust planning regarding offshore lightering led to a series of major exercises involving 4 sectors, 4 states, and 2 federal regions, thereby dramatically improving regional preparedness and addressing highly charged issues relating to chemical countermeasures. Captain Anderson's ability, diligence, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce Captain Scott Anderson, Commander, Coast Guard, Sector Delaware Bay.
Wow, thank you, Admiral, very much for your kind words. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you making the trip up here, sir. It's a 6-hour drive up, and then after we're done, it's a 6-hour drive back down to Portsmouth. And in the COVID-19 environment that we're in, you could have done this virtually. And these change of command ceremonies have been done virtually when the office is far away from the unit where the change of command is happening. And so it means a lot, sir, that you made the trip up here. It reflects your dedication to people, and it's one of the reasons that it's been such a great pleasure to serve on your crew and to be part of your team, sir. So thank you so much for your leadership, and good luck as you move on to your next command or your next assignment. And I have no doubt that you're going to make a difference in Atlantic area as well. But it's been great working for you, Admiral. So I have to get out my, I got to take care of this real quick. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's not quite full. I actually used this early this morning, and the water level's about here. So you say this glass is half, what do you say? It's half full, because you're all optimists, right? Glass is half full. The pessimist says this is half empty water bottle. My son would say, water, air, it's always full, just where the water level is. And I'm an engineer, so I would tell you that this bottle is twice as large as it needs to be. But today, I'm going to say that this bottle is half full, because I'm going to be optimistic about the reality. As the Admiral mentioned, normally a change of command ceremony for Sector Delaware Bay involves over 300 people, and normally it happens in the caterers hall behind us. The caterers hall is awesome because the wind doesn't blow over the flag, and you don't have to worry about rain, and you can fit a lot of people there. But you don't get in the caterers hall is the William Tate behind you and dress ship, a dock full of buoys, boats on trailers, and the bonito out in the river. That doesn't happen when you're in the caterers hall. So the thing that's nice about this ceremony is we get to celebrate the manners of our profession and the centuries of maritime heritage that we bring to this ceremony in a way that really reflects it in this maritime environment. So I'm looking at it from the positive, and I really appreciate you all for coming out, because it means a lot. This is a hectic time. I know everybody is very busy, so I appreciate you all taking the time to join us this morning and recognize these manners of our profession. The Master of Ceremonies and Admiral Smith have already greeted everybody, so I'm just going to say that all greetings and salutations remain in effect. It is good to see everybody here. A couple of old shipmates. Kurt, it's great to have you back. You were my wingman for 2 years of this, and it's great to see you succeeding and moving on and building a new house in the process. But yeah, nice haircut though. That's a Commander Murphy was our chief of response here for part of my tour, and appreciate you coming back over to be part of the ceremony. Thank you. So I'd also like to welcome all of those joining us online. Virtual ceremonies are the thing in 2020. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Just in the last 2 weeks alone, I've presided over 4 change of command ceremonies, a retirement ceremony, and a change of watch ceremony for our senior enlisted advisor. And all of them have had a virtual component to them. So I want to say thank you to everybody watching online, and I want you to feel welcome here at Sector Delaware Bay. I especially want to take a minute to thank the project officer for this change of command ceremony. Lieutenant J.G. Culp is in the back. I was going to ask her to stand, but she's already standing in the back, ready to grab her phone if anything changes. And she has done a tremendous job, because if there's not a word in the English language that describes the amount of flexibility she has had to demonstrate to get through all of this. We were 2 weeks ago and we still weren't sure where we were going to hold this ceremony, honestly. So she has done a tremendous job. And by the way, she's transferring, so she's getting ready to move, she's buying a house, and she's getting married, so she's planning her own wedding. And so she has just done a tremendous job. If you please join me in giving her a round of applause. She's had to deal with the two prima donnas up here on the stage, and I'm not talking about the Admiral, Captain Theel and I still work for you for like 5 more minutes. Yes, sir. And to the rest of the crew on the project team, the color guard, the sound system, all the folks that make this happen, thank you for all the work. It means a lot to me. So now some personal thank yous. So I have to start a ceremony like this by thanking God, because it's really His goodness, His protection, His guidance, His grace, His healing that has got us through this. He has really brought us through some difficult times, and I'm just grateful for His presence. Second, I have to thank my family. Now, as the Admiral mentioned, there is a retirement ceremony coming up in about a month and a half, so I'm going to save my really extended remarks about my family to that, but I do have to give some shout-outs. I've got family watching all across America, from Florida to Alaska, joining us online. Especially I want to say hi to my 90-year-old grandmother. Turned 90 this year, and she's in Las Vegas watching. Couldn't make the trip out because of coronavirus, but thank you for being able to tune in. And of course, I have to say thank you to my parents that braved coronavirus to fly across the country to be a part of the ceremony. Really, it's your support over the years. It's your sacrificing your time with your grandkids as we traveled all over the country, not near Las Vegas. There's no Coast Guard units near Las Vegas. So appreciate your sacrifice, because it's really your wisdom and guidance that allows me to be here today. It means a lot. Hand out flowers. Oh, sorry. And then to my wife, Tracy, Kathleen, Carl, and Paul. I made a point of not looking at my notes when I read your names. Thank you for all of your sacrifice. So my family this is service for them as well, and they've served for the 26 years of my commissioned service. But here, it's been a little bit different, because I'm on call 24/7. So my family has developed the ability to push pause on whatever we're doing at any given time while I go outside to answer the phone for a search and rescue case, a marine casualty, or a personnel issue. We'll do board games, and the board game just stops, and everybody knows it will come back in a couple of minutes, but we're just going to stop. Movies stop. Sometimes it doesn't come back. It depends on the issue. Movies, game nights. We organize our schedule around official functions, and so I really do appreciate all of your sacrifices and all of the time that I haven't been there. So thank you for your love and support, because again, I can't do this without you. We call you in the Coast Guard system dependents. I am an 06 with dependents, but of course you are the most independent people I know, because we make you pull up anchors and make new friends and start new schools every couple of years. So thank you so much for your love and support. Hand out more flowers. Okay, I wasn't sure. I made it through that. We made it through that without crying. All right, so let's talk about sector command. As I was coming through the ranks, I would hear people, often admirals, say with great conviction that being a sector commander is the best job in the Coast Guard. I couldn't tell if they were outright lying or just exaggerating to encourage people to take the job, because from my perspective back then, this looked like a grueling assignment. You're looking at long hours, huge responsibility, absolute accountability, having to speak in front of people, yikes, dealing with difficult decisions on a regular basis. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? In fact, I remember as a lieutenant standing in formation at the change of command ceremony for MSO, Marine Safety Office, Houston, Galveston, in 1998. I was in whites. The CO made us all wear whites and stand in formation. I had a very vivid memory from that change of command, and my memory was, I hope I never have that guy's job, because that job looks rough. And yet, here we are, which says something about my ability to make life choices, is what that tells you. So having been a deputy sector commander for 3 years in 2 different ports, I was deputy at Sector Lower Mississippi River in Memphis as well, and being sector commander here for 3 years, I stand here today to tell you that this is the very best job in the Coast Guard. And I'm going to do something that all those other folks I heard as a junior officer didn't do. I'm going to tell you why this is the best job in the Coast Guard. First, you get to conduct all Coast Guard missions. As the Admiral mentioned, this is really the hub of Coast Guard operations shoreside. And there are units that conduct a lot of different missions, but there are very few that conduct all 11 Coast Guard missions. We break ice. We actively manage ice for 27 days during the winter of 2018, keeping commerce flowing on this vital economic waterway. We conduct search and rescue cases. We talked about a couple of the rescue cases earlier. Inspections and investigations. We talked about the environmental crimes cases where we had the first trial in Coast Guard history for an oil content meter bypass case, and the folks were found guilty for that. We conduct law enforcement. We protect living marine resources. We respond to oil spills and hazardous material releases. We service aids to navigation, interdict drugs and migrants, conduct Coast Guard funerals for this entire area. We provide funeral honors for this area. We build and maintain relationships with government partners and port stakeholders, and the list goes on and on. So there are units that do some of those. There are very few that do all of them. The second reason, you get to work with a wide variety of partner agencies. At the federal level, it's the FBI, Customs and Border Protection, Army Corps of Engineers, EPA, FEMA, TSA, Homeland Security Investigations, the CDC, Department of Justice, Secret Service, U.S. Marshals, and even the Food and Drug Administration, as we mentioned during the mustard agent cases, where the FDA helped us track down every can of contaminated clams and destroy them before they reached the consumer. Director Martella, I would put our Coast Guard CBP relationship and partnership up against any port in the country. It has been amazing working with you. I've learned a lot from watching you, and thank you for your partnership. It's been excellent. Colonel Park, the Coast Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers are battle buddies in any port. It's vital that they have a coordination, but here in this port, I could not speak highly enough of the coordination we've had between our staff and your staff, especially as we've worked through the channel deepening process. We're gonna get to 45 feet soon, right? I'm not gonna pin you down for a date, but it's coming. And then all of the shoaling and obstructions and everything that we work through. Our FBI partnership has been outstanding. Thank you for joining us today. And again, it's that key connection that helps us to make sure we monitor and maintain the security of our region. And I've never had this type of connection with the FBI office, and that really is a testament to your work in your office. Thank you. At the state level, we've got the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Protection, state police agencies, state intelligence agencies, state environmental response agencies. At the local level, we have a host of law enforcement, professional and volunteer fire departments, and intel operations. It was great to have Fire Director Theel with us today, and Lieutenant Napoli, thank you for being here. Your partnership on water, of course, they're located, for those of you who don't know, the Marine Fire and Marine Police are co-located with here at this unit. And so it really is a force multiplier for us, and thank you for all that you do for our region and help keeping us safe. The list of partners is truly astounding, but all those partnerships are absolutely vital in accomplishing our missions, especially the big events like the Pope's visit, the Democratic National Convention, the USS Merthyr commissioning, our response to 2 cases where fishing vessels pulled up World War I ordnance offshore, our series of multi-agency, multi-unit exercises to improve our ability to respond to oil spills, and of course our weapon seizures and drug seizures, including the massive 19.76 ton cocaine seizure, one of the largest in US history. Have you finally got rid of all that, Director? Got that all disposed of? All right, it took a while. The third reason this is the best job is you have the opportunity to be part of a dynamic and well-connected port community. Now, every port requires coordination. Every port has to work together, but the coordination here is remarkable because we span 3 states and 2 federal regions. Forums like the Mariners Advisory Committee, the Maritime Exchange, the Area Committee, the Area Maritime Security Committee, and the Maritime Operations Committee allow for those critical conversations that uncover challenges and develop solutions before they impact the maritime transportation system that brings 77.6 billion annually to this region. The port has tackled a diverse list of projects, including the Silver Run cable laying project, the Super Post-Panamax crane deliveries, wind energy discussions, anchored space management, bridge operations, the arrival of the ultra-large container vessels to our port, the development of better severe weather decision support tools, and of course, the work towards the 45-foot channel. And Captain Cuff, Captain Griffin, Ms. Hember, as representatives of our port stakeholders, thank you for your engagement and for just the way that we manage this port. It really makes a difference. And finally, the most important reason that this is the best job in the Coast Guard is that you get to work with some of the most dedicated, skilled, and motivated people that you will ever meet. Every commanding officer thinks that they have the best crew, but I'm here today to tell you that the other ones are all wrong. I have the best crew. Our 750 active duty, reserve, civilian personnel working alongside our 1,700 auxiliary volunteers, and thank you, Commodore, for joining us, appreciate it, seamlessly carry out all of those projects and missions that I just mentioned with pride and professionalism, often in difficult conditions, with incomplete information, and sometimes they weren't getting paid. Yet they rise to the occasion time and time again, and they have received national level recognition for their accomplishments and innovation. I'm not going to go through the list again, the Admiral covered it, but it has really been a remarkable list. We started putting those together for the program today. It was even surprising to me. I'm like, wow, we did a lot of stuff. That's pretty cool. They pulled together these last 2 years through some really extreme challenges. We completely remodeled the west wing of the building thanks to a broken fire sprinkler. It was not a planned remodeling, but the crew had to work around all of that. Very dynamic situation. Last year's historic government shutdown, the loss of a shipmate in a tragic motorcycle accident, and of course the current COVID-19 pandemic. To the crew, the award that I just received a few minutes ago is really, it's your award. It's the crew's award. It represents countless hours of hard work and dedication. I'm just not sure how I'm going to fit 750 names on the back of this medal. I'm not sure I can make them all fit. But to my senior management team, my commanding officers and officers in charge, to the crew, whether we're talking about active duty, civilian, reserve, auxiliary, Aegis, and there's folks here that don't work for me, but definitely have been part of the crew as well, like the ESDD, Aegis, the recruiters, the exchange, just so many folks in our area, the Coast Guard family. Chief's Mess, Wardroom, I say thank you, because you have made this tour what it is, and you have made it a remarkable tour for me, and all of this, what you hear this morning, is due to your hard work and dedication. Well done. So yes, this really is the very best job in the Coast Guard. And it is with great pleasure that I hand it over to one of the very best officers that I have worked with in the Coast Guard. I've really enjoyed working with Captain Theel over the last year. He's been a quick study, rapidly coming up to speed on this complex port environment. He brings a wide range of experiences that will serve him well. And he has consistently shown great patience and insights when dealing with difficult issues. As long as you keep him well stocked with a steady stream of Diet Mountain Dew, things will be just fine. Should go well. JT, congratulations on command. You have certainly earned it, and I am very pleased to be succeeded by someone of your caliber. Thank you for your sage advice, your support, and your friendship this last year. Appreciate it. So today I hand over the job that I swore I never wanted, with mixed emotions. I won't lie, there is some relief here today. I will not miss being called at all hours of the day and night when something catches fire, sinks, or gets lost out on this waterway, or having to tell a family member that I'm stopping the search for one of their loved ones. There is a degree of sadness that I will no longer be in the arena wearing the cloth of our country, fighting the fight. But most of all, there is satisfaction in looking back over the things that we have accomplished as a unit, as a team, and as a port community. Mahatma Gandhi once observed, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service to others. It has been my absolute honor to serve alongside all of you, and I extend to all of you my prayers and best wishes for good health, success, fair winds, and following seas. Thank you, and Semper Paratus. Thank you. I will now read my orders.
Audience, please rise. Military members, attention to orders.
First, I have to snap my gloves. From Commander, Coast Guard Personnel Command, to Captain Scott Anderson, United States Coast Guard. Subject, retirement orders. Upon relief as Commander, Sector Delaware Bay, proceed to your home of selection on 19 June 2020. On behalf of the Commander, Personnel Command, we wish to express appreciation for your faithful service and wish you a fulfilling retirement and best of luck in your future endeavors.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the prospective commander, Captain Jonathan Theel.
I will now read my orders. From Commander, Coast Guard Personnel Command, to Captain Jonathan Theel, United States Coast Guard. Subject, orders. Detach from all duties and proceed to United States Coast Guard Sector Delaware Bay for assignment to duty as Sector Commander.
Captain Theel will now relieve Captain Anderson as Commander, Sector Delaware Bay.
Very well, I stand relieved. Admiral, I've been properly relieved as Commander, Sector Delaware Bay.
Very well.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce Commander, Coast Guard Sector Delaware Bay, Captain Jonathan Theel.
Thank you. Good morning, Admiral, Scott, family, guests, friends. First, I want to thank my family. I have a whole clan back in South Dakota who now, thank you to the introduction of technology to these changes of command, I'm able to show them what I do in the Coast Guard, or at least a little part of it. So thank you for always being there and being my rock as I've traveled across the country. And we began this journey, adventure, 22 years ago when I married a girl from South Dakota. We've lived in 9 different states, 11 different PCS moves, and we've been separated on 3 different occasions. You've always been there, even though I honestly live in the doghouse most of the time, because I will call you up and say things like, yeah, remember that movie guy? Well, we're swinging by, I gotta get something from the house, and I'll be there in about 10 minutes. Love ya. And you've always been there. And when I called you and said, hey, I really want this job, it's gonna be incredibly stressful, crazy hours, and you're probably gonna hardly ever see me, you said, whatever you need, we're there. So through all of this, thank you. And out of all the awards and cool things that I have gotten in life, Lexi, Orion, you two are the thing that I'm most proud of. In fact, if I could have a medal that was the Lexi and Rye medal, I would put it right there at the top. The one thing I know for certain is that our lives, your mom and I's lives, are better because God gave us you. And also to friends who have become family, the Huddlestons and the Nothacres, you have welcomed me into your homes, you've welcomed me into your families, and I will be forever grateful for the love that you have shown me. Thank you for that. And Admiral, I realize I should have thanked you first, but to be honest, I had to get the hard stuff out of the way. Whew. And I do owe you. a lot, because a long time ago, when you were shopped a Lieutenant JG to come to one of your leadette teams, I imagine it was one of those challenging moments for you. And you took a chance on me, and I appreciate it, because that moment set me down this path to here. And that wasn't the only time that you've influenced my life. There were a couple years back when I really wanted command of an MSST. I was short tour, and detailer called me and said I didn't get it this year. He was going to send me off to the West Coast to one of our training centers. Good job, I was excited. And then he calls me back up and says, I'm going to offer you MSST Miami. And I was excited. And I asked what had changed. And he said, well, a certain program manager pushed back really hard and said they wanted a leadette in command of one of the teams. Thank you for that, sir. And then our communication last year, when I found out I was coming as deputy, and deputy wasn't high on my list, and you told me that your plan was to fleet me up after Scott left this year. 3 times in my life that you have made a significant change. Thank you very much for everything you've done for me, sir. And to quote a response chief who recently left, this is a hidden gem. I am incredibly honored to be entrusted with such great people and incredible responsibility. Thank you, sir. And I would like to say a couple things about Scott, because there is a lot of awards, a lot of recognition, a lot of things that the Admiral said that are absolutely true and amazing. But that is not what I get to see. What I get to see is somebody who is completely solid and stable when all chaos is breaking out around him. Regardless of what is going on, he is the rock that everybody else grabs onto in the middle of the storm. The other thing is I've seen him stay late all the time, and he uses traffic as an excuse. He will say, no, I'm just staying here because otherwise I'd be sitting on the road. But the truth is, he stays late to make sure that he goes through everything on the list, everything that's come in an email, because he wants to make sure that he's taking care of the young men and women who are working for him. That is why he is amazing. And you understand what total command means. You've bared full responsibility. You have been proud of your people when they succeeded, and you've rewarded them. You have entered that arena and faced all these challenges head on. You've pursued excellence and set the bar incredibly high, and you have treated everybody with CPR, courtesy, professionalism, and respect. You have set some big shoes to fill, and I will strive my best to follow them. In the days to come, I'm going to lay out my command philosophy. We are on a great track line. Thank you to you and the great team that we have here at Sector Delaware Bay, and all the COs, OICs, and members we have across the sector. I look forward to serving the crew here at Sector, the Delaware Bay Port Complex, and the people who take to the waters of this tri-state area. Commander Fawcett, all standing orders, regulations, and instructions remain in effect.
Aye, aye, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as Chaplain Flynn delivers the benediction and remain standing for the playing of Semper Paratus and the departure of the official party.
Let us pray. Merciful Father, your word tells us that there is a time and a season for all things under heaven. Thank you for all the good things we have in this life, and help us to be faithful to not only our vocations, but stewards of what we have been given. Protect, preserve all who are here. Give wisdom, discernment, and guidance to all leaders in District 5 as they face not only storms, literally, but in our communities and in our workplace. Preserve and protect all who are here. Give them safe travels as they leave this place, and help us to be faithful in all that we do. All these things we ask and thank in your holy and blessed name. Amen.
Now, Commander, 5th Coast Guard District, departing. Hand salute! Ready to! Now, Sector Delaware Bay, departing. Now, Captain, United States Coast Guard, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the official ceremony. We invite everyone into the general green room inside the sector building for some informal presentations from port partners and the crew to show our appreciation for Captain Anderson's service. Please follow the ushers for directions to the general green room. Afterwards, Captain Theel and Captain Anderson invite you to enjoy cake prepared by our galley staff. Thank you again for attending.